So you're hitting the road and taking your greatest hits out on tour? How can you be sure that they get the reaction that you're looking for? Well, that's today, until we make it. I'm Mike Quackenbush. This is Till We Make It. And if you're passionate about the craft of professional wrestling and want to forge a legacy that you can be proud of, subscribe to my channel now so that you never miss a video. Today's topic was sent in by a loyal member of the Till We Make It tribe. Our friend Ty over in Israel was asking about reactions and finishing moves. So you're starting to branch out, you're hitting the road a little bit, off into new regions, new territories, maybe new countries, and you want to ensure that your trademark finishing move always gets a certain reaction, even from a brand new audience. Well, up front, let's just call something into clarity. If you consistently structure your matches so that they always feature the same trademark move at the moment of highest dramatic tension, at the climax of the match, what we are talking about is single finisher theory, and that is very different from signature set theory. And both single finisher theory and signature set theory, they are valid ways of approaching structure, of approaching the psychology of a wrestling match. There's nothing wrong with either one of them. But if this is the first that you are hearing about signature set theory, I will link in the description below to my archive of seminars where there is a two-part series, beginner and advanced, all about signature set theory. And that's all the more we're going to say about that, because this question is firmly over here in this camp. We are talking single finisher theory. Ty asked how he can be certain that a new audience will be primed to deliver a climactic reaction to his single finisher, his trademark move, when starting to venture out. You're getting out there on tour, you're going to new regions, going to new countries all around the world. How can you be certain to preserve the reaction that you are looking for? And I don't mind telling you, audiences are different everywhere that you go. Tastes are different from region to region, from territory to territory, from culture to culture, and country to country. And the reason I say it that way is so that we appreciate there is not going to be one solution that absolutely works 100% of the time. That just doesn't exist. In order for your signature finishing move, or any move that you deploy, really, to get a certain reaction from the audience, you're going to need to build up equity in the move. What does equity mean in a wrestling context? It is the value that you build into the things that you make or own. So to really answer this question, you've got to build up equity into the move. And if you're going somewhere new, you will begin the process of building that equity every single time you venture out. You go to work for a new wrestling organization, you're going to have to build the equity there. You start taking bookings halfway around the world, well, guess what? You're going to have to build equity up in the move halfway around the world every time that you perform there as well. And every time you make a major change of venue like that, you'll begin the process all over again. Take it from a guy who knows there is no shortcut to building equity. However, there are different methods of finding equity in the moves that you choose. I'll give you an example. Let's say that the move in question happens to be one that is featured on weekly television, being performed by Shinsuke Nakamura every single time he appears on TV. Well, that particular move, by benefit of having been performed by a world-renowned professional wrestler on a weekly basis, on a program potentially viewed by millions, already has some TV equity built up into it. And that has nothing to do with the work that you're doing. That equity has already been provided by all the work Shinsuke Nakamura put in, or whomever you want to choose as an example. No doubt you've probably already realized this about moves that are well known thanks to their television exposure. That TV equity accompanies the move before you even perform it. And there certainly are wrestlers out there that leverage that to their advantage. That's the way it goes. It's been going on that way for decades. But placing that example aside for a second, what if the move in question happens to be an original of yours? A move You believe you're the only person performing anywhere on planet Earth. How can you build up equity in a move like that? Well, in my opinion, there are two chief ways in which you can build up that equity on your own, and they are both patient work. One is you must consistently win remarkable matches with that move until you have built enough value in it that it gets the reaction you are expecting. Do you hear the reaction that you want for that move every time that you put it on stage? If so, once you've gotten it there, you have succeeded in building up that equity. But you'll notice I did say remarkable matches. If the matches you are having are forgettable, then the value is nil. And as I alluded to, this is patient work. This takes time. There is no way to microwave that equity. An important detail I want to call your attention to. While you are trying to build that equity, you want to avoid having people reverse, counter, or kick out of the move. That's not going to help you continue to build the equity. You want to preserve those things for later. Once the move has that equity imbued within it, then those types of things, like somebody escaping or reversing from that move, will get a reaction based on the hard work and the value you already built in. The other way that you can build equity up into the move is by creating a piece of compelling multimedia that you are going to distribute, which features the move prominently. And if you can't do it, maybe you're going to hire someone. You're going to jump on a freelance website like Fiverr.com. I'll link to that below for you. And you're going to get somebody to make you this video package that features the move prominently. Then you will go about disseminating it through all your social media channels. How about that company that hired you? They offered you a string of bookings that begin in 90 days. You could share that piece of multimedia with them so that they could also distribute it to their audience in advance, thus priming them for the reaction that you want. We all live in an age of instant gratification. If I heard a new single that I really liked, I could jump online, find it in a matter of a few clicks, buy it, download it, and then add it to my collection forever, all in probably less than 1 minute of time. It is not at all like the experience of hearing a new single, driving to a record store, sifting through a bin looking for the single, trying to find it, and maybe if it's not there, I've got to ask the clerk to go into the back and see if they have an extra one back there, and the clerk rummages around, maybe they find it, they come out, we make a little transaction, I go home, and then I can listen to the single. That feeling of want, of anticipation, has been almost entirely replaced with gratification of that want in a matter of mere seconds. But that is not true of the way that we build equity in pro wrestling moves. As I said, this is not something that you can microwave. You've got to put that into the oven and let it bake until it tastes just right. If you want to make sure that your cool finishing move always gets a certain type of reaction, that's going to require patient and diligent work on your part, unless you are making use of moves that have equity already accompanying them from years and years of repetition on television in front of an audience of millions. If you're heading out on the road, starting to tour in different areas, and you want to make sure that you're getting a certain reaction for your moves, well, do you have to do a whole lot of work to build equity up into the Styles Clash? No. AJ Styles already did the hard work for you. But if you've got a unique repertoire and you want to make sure it gets the reaction that it deserves, there is patient, diligent work ahead of you. You're going to have to build up equity in each of those movements, each of those spots, or even just your one single finishing move. And the only way to do that is through the hard work of repetition. I hope today's video provided you with a new insight, and if so, would you like this video? Drop me a comment down below. I'm always finding new topics for future videos down there in the comments section. And if you haven't yet, check out my latest Toolbox, Building Better Pro Wrestling, talks at length about structural and performative elements to help make you a more diverse and dynamic performer, most of all in front of modern audiences. It is my most recent, most up-to-date work, and it's waiting for you on Kindle at a link I'll put below.